Let us start with the introduction to data structures. Data is an integral part of our applications or programs. If I define a program is nothing but a set of instructions which perform operations on data to get some results. So without data, there is no need of instruction, no use of instructions. Then the data term data, we use it at many places like data structures, databases, data warehouse, big data. So from this, what is actually data structure? So for this, if we have the little bit knowledge about all other things also, that will be better. So first I'll start with data structures, and we'll also have the brief introduction to databases and data warehouse as well as big data. So first let us start with introduction to data structures. First of all, let me introduce what is data structure. Data structure can be defined as arrangement of collection of data items so that they can be utilized efficiently. Operations on that data can be done efficiently. So it's all about the arrangement of data and the operations on the data that are efficient operations on the data. But the question is where? Inside the main memory during the execution of a program. So without data structure, there cannot be any application. Every application will have set of instructions which will perform operations on data. So data is mandatory. Then where the data is kept? Inside the main memory. Where the programs will be? Inside the main memory. Right? So during the execution of a program, how the program will manage data inside the main memory and perform the operations, that is data structure. So I'll take an example and explain you in detail how the program utilizes data and how they put the data inside the main memory. Let us look at this diagram. Here is the CPU processor, that is central processing unit, that is our microprocessor, and this is main memory. Let us say this is RAM, and this is a storage, that is hard disk drive or external storage, or just we call it as storage. This will execute our programs, that is, it is a processor, it will execute the instructions. And this is temporary memory, that is working memory. It is also called as primary memory. And this is permanent storage. This is permanent storage. So if we look into our PC, then we will have a processor, RAM and hard disk. Or if we look into a mobile phone, then there will be a processor and there will be some RAM like 2 GB or 3 GB or 4 GB of RAM, and there is a storage of 16 GB, 32 GB or 128 GB like this. Then where do we keep our programs? When we install any program in our PC or on our mobile phone, a program or an application will get installed on storage. So here I am showing it as a program file. This is a program file. Then where do we keep our data? That also we keep it on hard disk. Suppose you have any pics or photos or videos or any documents, that all you keep it in your hard disk, or in your mobile phone you keep it in a storage. So these are data files. So I'll take one example of commonly used application like MS Word. Most Windows users use MS Word, commonly used software, or Notepad also you can take. Assume that this is MS Word program file and this is document file or docx file, and this is MS Word file. Now through this example, I'll explain you where the data structure comes into picture and how MS Word may need data structure. Now let us see how our application program runs. If you want to run MS Word on your PC or your mobile phone, you are touching an icon or double clicking an icon of MS Word, then let us see what all happens. This MS Word program will be brought into the main memory. So it is brought into the main memory. So let us say these are all the instructions of MS Word program, such as I am showing lines to show the machine language code or instructions of MS Word program. So whenever you want to run an application, the application code or the program code has to be brought into the main memory. Then once it is brought in, CPU will start executing this MS Word application. So you will see a window appearing on the screen, and then all the menu options, everything comes up and you can start using MS Word. Now, if you want to open a file, document file in your MS Word application. Suppose this program wants to access this data in this file, then this data also has to be brought into the main memory. So let us say this is data, or this is some Word document file. So data is also brought into the main memory. Now from this I can explain that, I can say that a program has to be brought into the main memory for its execution, as well as data has to be brought into the main memory for processing on the data, so that these instructions can perform operation on the data. Program cannot directly process the data keeping it on the storage. The data has to be brought into the main memory. Now from this we can say that every application deals with some data, whether it is MS Word, or if it is Notepad, then the Notepad file, text file has to be brought into the main memory. If it is a Chrome, you are browsing any web page, then that web page, when it is coming from internet, it has to be in the main memory. So every application on your computer system or your mobile phone deals with some data, and that data has to be inside main memory. How you organize the data inside the main memory such that it can be easily used by this application, efficiently utilized by this application program. So how you organize the data? So the arrangement or organizing of the data inside the main memory for efficient utilization by the application, that arrangement is called as data structure. So data structures are formed in the main memory during the execution time of a program. When the program runs, it needs data. So the question, how it will arrange the data in the main memory for performing its operations. So that arrangement is called as data structures. So data structure is a part of running program. You may be knowing different data structures like arrays or linked lists or trees or hash table. Whatever the data structure is suitable, an application can use that particular data structure here for arranging its data. Data may be a text data or multimedia data like images or videos. A lot of contents may be there in the form of data. So all those contents, how they are organized in the main memory. So we have to design some data structure so that the application can use it perfectly or more efficiently. An application should work faster or process faster over the data. So that's it. So I have given you the idea what is data structure and where it will be in your computer system. So it is not on the disk, it is inside the main memory. So without data structure, we cannot develop any application. Now let me give you some idea about databases. See, when the data is larger in size, or commercial data that is used in businesses like banks or retail stores or manufacturing firms, they will have a lot of data and they will have some organized data in the form of database tables or relational data. And where they keep that relational data, all that data is stored on the disk. So I'll just remove this and show you a relational table that is kept on the disk. Now you can see here that on the disk, on the hard disk, this is a table, database table. I am showing only one table. There may be many tables. Data may be spread across various database tables and it is organized in the form of tables, and the tables are having relationship between them. So mostly commercial data is stored in the form of database tables. Now, if any application program is using that database, then data has to be brought into the main memory, then only it can use it. So again, you need data structure here. When you are pulling the data from the hard disk or from the storage to the main memory during execution, then you need definitely data structure here. So arrangement of data here in the main memory is data structure. Then how this data is organized in the form of table on the disk, this is database. This is database. Just brief introduction I am giving you. Database means arranging the data in some model, like say relational model, in the permanent storage so that it can be retrieved or accessed by applications easily. That arrangement in the hard disk or in the permanent storage is called as database. Then next, let us go to the next term. Like I was talking about commercial data. that is data used in businesses. So they will have huge amount of data daily coming in, like many customers are making transactions or a lot of goods are manufactured and sold. So the data size will be growing day by day, large and large. So large size data are very large data that may not be used daily, right? Like 1 year old data or 10-year-old data that may not be used now. So commercial data can be categorized into two, that is operational data or legacy data, old data. Operational data that is used, that is daily, and legacy data can be kept as storage somewhere. If required, we can fetch that data and use it. Or you can say historical data. So that historical data can be kept on array of disk, because just imagine 10 years of data or 50 years of data is kept on not just one disk, array of disk. So the large size data which is kept here, that is acting as a historical data for any commercial firm. This is data warehouse. This is data warehouse. So mostly commercial firms will have their data warehouses. That data warehouse is helpful for analyzing the business or making the policies or starting a new trend or giving offers to the customers, dealing with the customers. So that previous data, old data, will help organization in taking decisions. So this large size data is data warehouse, and the algorithms written for analyzing that data are data mining algorithms. All right. So wherever data is used, I'm explaining about that. See, this is database, right? Database. This is data structure. So data structure inside the main memory during the execution. Database on the disk, large size data, and the huge size data which is inactive now, and when required it is utilized, that is data warehouse. And the last term, that is big data, is the term used nowadays. Big data. With the start of internet, a huge size data is accumulating day by day in internet. That data is about things, about people, about places. A lot of data is available in internet, and by analyzing that data we can take a lot of decisions, that is for management, for governance, or for businesses. Analysis is very useful about that data. Storing and utilizing that very large size data, that study is big data. Now for a beginner, these are maybe confusing terms, so I have separately defined them where each is used. Again I repeat, data structure is in main memory during the execution of a program. Arrangement of data here, and arrangement of data on the disk is database. Arrangement of data in the array of disk as data warehouse, that is not operational, that is not used day to day. And big data, that is used in internet. So that's all. I have given you the different places where data is used. Now our subject is data structures, so let us start with data structures in next video onwards.